School's out, but our boy Quinn is already questioning why they're still grinding through exams. In a world where everyone is obsessed with leveling up their powers, some kids are broke and can't even afford basic skill books, forcing them to wait for military academy handouts. While the lucky ones born with powers act like they're the chosen elite, totally forgetting that without the Darky race war, they wouldn't even have a chance to become strong. But Quinn's classmate is just worried about her family's beast armor business and her own. Level 5 goal, ignoring the local celebrity Riley who's already hitting level 4 bro. She tries to shoot her shot with a dinner invite, but Riley is clearly uninterested. Until Quinn, the absolute madlad, sprints past them like his life depends on it, shouting, at some unseen threat, "Can you see how many fingers I'm holding up, you trash?" While flipping them off with zero hesitation, leaving everyone stunned by his sheer audacity. And before he can even blink, Riley shuts him down with a brutal, lightning-fast strike. That leaves Quinn flat on the pavement, gasping for air while the elites just walk away, leaving his classmate to awkwardly ask if he's okay, but he's already spiraling into a daze, clutching that mysterious book like it's the only thing he has left. As the bullies mock his pathetic attempt to run, Quinn is barely hanging on, dude, and the elites just watch with cold indifference, not even bothering to finish him off. Because Riley hits him with a blast of energy that sends him flying. No way he could ever stand a chance against that kind of power. It's actually broken, man. And as he hits the ground, the world spins, leaving him wondering if this is this end, but the bullies just call him worthless and leave him to rot, coughing up blood while they brag about how lucky he is to even get hit by someone like Riley, and the crowd just gossips about how he's a total social pariah who lives on government subsidies, a complete waste of space in their eyes, that in this era being powerless is the ultimate sin and he's living it daily. As the news drones on about a peace treaty, Quinn just walks home feeling hopeless, because tomorrow is the big day at the military academy and he's still got nothing. But back in his room, he stares at that old, creepy box, his heart racing. With every beat, he wonders if this is finally the moment everything changes for him, and he opens the chest to reveal a terrifying, toothy skill book glowing with malice. As a flashback hits him 6 years ago when his life was ripped apart, bro, two men in suits show up at his door, their shadows looming over his childhood home, delivering the news that his parents sacrificed their lives in the war. No way. And he's left completely alone with no family to turn to, just a cold reality. While the government offers him a pittance for his survival, he clings to their inheritance. Back in the present, the book starts pulsing with a wild, chaotic red energy, dude, and it begins to float, tearing through the air with a power that feels forbidden. As Quinn screams, "What?" the book opened, while the pages rip open with blinding light. That surges directly into his skull, forcing him to his knees in pure, raw agony. As he grabs his head, feeling his brain being rewritten by the ancient, dark knowledge, and he lets out a gut-wrenching cry, his body engulfed in a storm of red energy that's tearing him apart from the inside out. You're not ready for this, man. Until finally he collapses, the room silent, his silhouette burning against the dark, red background. And he's gasping for air, his head still throbbing, but something has fundamentally changed inside him as a system notification pops up. Congratulations on obtaining blood-sucking, you gotta see. This, he's staring at the screen in disbelief, wondering what kind of power that is, while he lies there, completely drained, the weight of his new reality sinking in deep. And outside, kids are just playing soccer, completely oblivious to the monster he's becoming, bro. As he tries to join them, desperate for any connection, but they just look away. And he walks toward them, whispering, "I want to be with you guys too," sadly, but they scream, "Stay away from us." Because a child without a mother has number manners, and the memory of his parents' funeral haunts him, the frames mocking his pain. As tears stream down his face, the red background reflecting his internal, burning rage, dude, and the image of his parent in the frame whispers his name, driving him mad. Until he wakes up screaming, "Quinn." In a cold sweat, his heart hammering against his chest, realizing it was all a nightmare, but the pounding on his door is real. As a voice shouts, "I'll count to 3, and if you don't open, I'm breaking it down." And he scrambles to the door, barely holding it together. You think he's ready. He opens it to find Sergeant Griff, who's clearly not in the mood today, and he barks, "You have 2 minutes to grab your things and get in the car." Quinn wakes up in a total panic, realizing he completely lost track of time. And he's frantically searching for that mysterious skill book he opened last night. But he finds his glasses shattered on the floor, forcing him to squint. Yet as he rubs his eyes, he realizes something is seriously off with his vision, because his eyesight is suddenly perfect, like he's not even nearsighted anymore, bro, before a loud voice at his door snaps him back to the harsh reality. And he rushes out to meet Sergeant Griff, who is clearly fed up with him, hopping onto the bus only to find the seat next to Riley is taken, leaving him to scan the crowded bus for any other available spot, while Riley glares at him with pure hostility, making the tension absolutely suffocating, until a guy named Worden waves him over, offering him a seat, and Quinn introduces himself, shaking hands with this surprisingly friendly stranger. But suddenly, a weird blue interface pops up, rejecting an ability activation, leaving Quinn completely bewildered as he stares at the screen in shock, wondering if Worden can see the glitchy notification hovering right in front of him. So he asks about Worden's power, only to admit he has nothing himself, feeling like a total outcast since everyone else his age is already leveled up, until the instructor screams at them to shut up, ending their quiet conversation. And Quinn shares a look of awkward relief with Worden, just trying to survive. while he keeps obsessing over that weird system notification flashing in his vision, checking his status bar and seeing his attributes are all sitting at 10, realizing the skill book must have integrated with him in some crazy way. As the bus speeds toward the academy, he wonders what his power actually is, scrolling through the empty interface, frustrated that it will not show him any real data. When suddenly a blinding light erupts from the bus, hitting him hard, and Quinn is left reeling, feeling like his entire body is burning up, struggling to hold his head up as a massive warning sign flashes red, notifying him that direct sunlight is draining his stats by a brutal 50%, and he watches in horror as his attributes get slashed right before his eyes. Feeling his health and stamina plummet while he gasps for air, slamming the window shade shut to block the sun, desperate to stop the drain, as Worden asks if he's okay, noticing how pale and sickly he suddenly looks. So Quinn lies about not sleeping, just trying to keep his secret under wraps, chugging water to recover, hoping it might help him stabilize his crashing stats, when a notification pings for a daily task and he accidentally spits water everywhere, earning a massive scolding from the instructor for causing such a loud scene, while his neighbor points the finger at him, making Quinn look like a total clown, and he realizes his system is unlike anything anyone has ever seen before, because while others focus on one ability, his feels like a straight-up video game, yet he still cannot figure out his actual power beyond the improved eyesight, so he turns to ask Worden a question, but the guy is already out cold, snoring away, leaving Quinn to wonder why everyone on the bus is suddenly sleeping, and he realizes the air is filled with some kind of weird, heavy gas, but his system kicks in, detecting the substance and boosting his resistance to it. As the instructor walks down the aisle, realizing someone is still awake, and he forces a mask over Quinn's face, trying to knock him out for good, but the system keeps warning him of the danger, fighting the gas off. As Quinn struggles to keep his eyes open, fighting the overwhelming urge to sleep, until he finally snaps awake, realizing he managed to resist the knockout gas, and Worden wakes up too, confused about where they are while Quinn plays it cool, arriving at the military academy where they see a few other students waiting, including Eileen, Layla, and Peter, all looking just as lost as he feels, while Quinn wonders if they're the only ones who did not pass out. An Officer Jane steps up, announcing it's time for their extraordinary power test, calling Peter Chuck first, who looks absolutely terrified to step into the spotlight, as he admits to the officer that he does not have any ability at all, which shocks the others, but the officer says it's not too late to awaken, handing Peter a black book and telling him he can still obtain power, and Quinn watches in total disbelief, realizing they're just handing out skill books for free. This officer tells Quinn he can retake the test once he learns to use his power, but he's confused about the wristband everyone is wearing, which acts as a campus ID, and suddenly it's his turn to step up for the evaluation, heart pounding in his chest, realizing he's totally unprepared for this moment as the officer stares him down, asking for his ability, so he admits he has absolutely nothing to show, yet the officer just hands him a mysterious book, telling him to take it anyway. And a wild system notification pops up asking if he wants to exchange it for points, making him wonder if he can really trade a skill book for raw experience, while he hesitates, knowing that doing something so weird would invite way too many questions, so he politely declines the offer, leaving everyone around him completely stunned by his choice. But the officer insists he takes it, warning him that he'll be on his own later. And he reluctantly accepts, deciding he'll just have to manage his own path, while the officer pauses, clearly suspicious, and starts making a secret report, whispering into her comms about a student refusing a book, checking for hidden factions. But her superior orders a physical test to see if he's just an ordinary guy, so she directs him outside to a training area and he's like, "Wait outside," telling him to destroy 3 targets as fast as he possibly can. And he stares at the mechanical dummies, feeling the pressure of the entire class watching. But his vision starts blurring and he realizes the sunlight is absolutely wrecking him, thinking no choice, I'll have to go all out, as he prepares to strike, and he lunges at the target, but the system only registers his strength at 5, leaving the officer looking at her screen thinking, wow, this guy is seriously weak, while he struggles to land a hit, his body feeling like lead in the sun. And he grits his teeth, pushing through the exhaustion to finish the task, finally smashing the targets, though the system only records his agility at a measly 5, so the officer dismisses him, confirming his stats match a bottom-tier level 1 user, and he stumbles away, desperate to escape the sun that's draining his life force, while he meets up with the others, finally finding some sweet, sweet shade, and he listens as Layla shows off her psychic powers, wondering what pure blood means. So he learns that pure bloods are a faction that hates these extraordinary powers, and he watches Layla dominate the test, showing off her beast bone bow, landing a brutal kick that smashes the target, earning her a level 2 rating, but she's furious, claiming she's actually a level 3, though the officer is not having it, and she calls up Eileen Hare, who looks like she's ready to kill someone, while Worden tries to get friendly, reaching out to touch her. But she snaps hand off with a look that could freeze the sun, and she instantly encases his hand in jagged ice, leaving him in total shock, telling him, next time you reach out without permission it won't just be like this. So she steps up to the test and Worden is still nursing his frozen hand, laughing it off while Quinn just watches, thinking she's definitely bad news, and she unleashes a massive ice storm, obliterating the targets in seconds, getting a level 5 rating, which is absolutely insane for a student, and everyone is whispering about how she's the 3rd level 5 of the day. while Worden steps up next, grinning like he's about to own the place, and he mimics Eileen's exact move, freezing the targets with a massive ice blast, proving he's also a level 5, which leaves the whole crowd speechless. So the officer marks him down, clearly impressed by his raw power. And he turns to Quinn, flashing his level 5 status like a total show-off, asking how Quinn knew he was copying abilities, looking genuinely caught off guard, but Quinn just smiles, having pieced it all together from the handshake, and Worden admits he's shocked that a non-powered guy is so observant, while Quinn wonders why his body blocked the copy, questioning his own hidden nature, and Worden asks if he's a native user, but Quinn plays it cool, wondering if there's a reward for guessing right, though he keeps his mouth shut. So the officer announces the test is over and it's time to head to the academy, and they all pile into a transport pod that shoots them toward the city, which looks like a futuristic paradise, totally blowing Quinn's mind. As they descend into the heart of the military academy, ready for their new lives, and he runs into a guy from earlier who asks how his test went. But Quinn just gives a vague answer, keeping his level 1 secret locked away. Quinn and his buddy are officially the bottom of the food chain, stuck as level 1 nobodies while everyone else flexes their higher ranks, and these students are already networking, desperate to latch onto any level 5, ignoring the worthless duo like they do not even exist in this hierarchy, which just proves that this academy is just as toxic as the outside. Until Teacher Dell finally cuts through the noise, demanding absolute silence from everyone, ordering the students to line up and draw their random dormitory assignments. While Quinn scans the crowd, wondering where his powerhouse friend Worden disappeared to, and he reaches into the box, pulling out a ball marked number 23, only to find another student right next to him holding the exact same number, leaving them both staring in total confusion at the matching digits. So they compare notes, realizing they are stuck in the same room together, and the guy is actually stoked, thinking they'll be perfect roommates for years. But Quinn is already trying to slip away, feeling bad for his partner, who breaks down, apologizing for being a burden, but Quinn stays supportive, until a familiar face pops up. It's Worden, also assigned to room 23, and he immediately pulls them both into a massive, suffocating bear hug. While across the hall, some other students are fuming about losing their spot, but they decide to just take the L, terrified of whoever took it, because word is out that a level 5 is staying in that room, and back in the dorm, Quinn ignores the small talk to study, while the others head out, leaving him alone to solve his power mystery, so he drags Worden to the library, determined to find some real answers, where the place is packed with students buried in their own research. But Quinn is baffled, watching people move their mouths without making a sound, until Worden activates a high-tech device that creates a private soundproof bubble, showing off gear that makes public school tech look like literal garbage, and Quinn admits he's hunting for info on his weird, sunlight-draining condition, while Worden laughs, warning him not to become a military dog for them, asking if he really thinks the government is just handing out free power. Because those books are just bait to turn students into expendable human shields, and Quinn pivots, casually asking if there's any ability that hates the sun, which makes Worden crack up, saying that's impossible unless he's a literal vampire, but Quinn just sighs, realizing the library has zero info on his curse, so he decides to head upstairs, hoping the restricted section holds the truth, where he finds a shelf labeled Fantasy and Knowledge, feeling a strange pull. And he picks up a book about a dragon reincarnated as a human, thinking it's just fiction, but he decides to skim one more volume, which details the systematic traits of vampires, blood, bats, and even hypnosis, and he freezes, realizing the sunlight weakness is exactly what he has, as a sudden system notification pings, rewarding him for finally connecting the dots, and he nearly loses his mind, shouting, "What?" in the middle of the library. Because the realization hits him like a truck, he might actually be a vampire, and he stares at the book title, The Truth About Vampires, in horror, while the sun sets outside, signaling the end of his miserable day, and he finds Worden passed out at the table, drooling like a baby, so he wonders if he should wake him up or just leave, but he realizes Worden is still sleeping, so he just heads out alone, while he sits on the floor, surrounded by books, questioning his entire existence. And the system confirms his progress, unlocking a brand new optional task, which pops up in the air, glowing with a sinister blue light, and he reads the prompt, "Drink the blood of a human," in shock, realizing the system is now actively pushing him toward his dark nature, while he stares at the 0% completion, wondering if he has to, and he notes that even at sunset the light still makes him weak, checking his status bar, seeing his pathetic level 1 stats staring back. Knowing he needs to level up fast if he wants to survive here, but he accidentally slams into someone in the hall. It's Peter the Weakling, and some bully immediately jumps on Peter, ready to beat him to death, while Quinn watches his own wristband light up, signaling a level increase. This bully is demanding compensation, but Quinn just hits him with, "I don't have much money." This guy gets aggressive, so Quinn pulls a pro gamer move and trips him like a total boss. Quinn plays it off with a smirk, "Sorry, I have a problem with tripping on flat ground." This bully is fuming, calling him trash and demanding payment, but he has no idea what's coming. Quinn just stares him down, asking, "Oh, so what do you want to do?" with zero fear. Suddenly, the system pings, combat mode is active, and Quinn is ready to test his new strength. He's hyped for the experience points, shouting, "If you want to fight, I'll go all the way, scumbag." This bully loses it, transforming his arm into a beastly claw, screaming, "You're asking for death." He swings with everything he's got, but Quinn is already locked in and ready to counter. This clash is insane, sending shockwaves through the room as Quinn takes the hit head-on. This bully is stunned, thinking, how is this kid so strong? Doesn't seem like level 1. Quinn realizes he's got a real chance here, knowing he's at least level 2 standard. He remembers the girl from the test, realizing his stats are actually insane without the sun. This bully lunges again, but Quinn is moving with a speed that defies his own rank. He dodges the claw and lands a brutal strike, leaving the bully reeling in total shock. This guy is panicking, thinking, this kid doesn't have enough agility, but he's dead wrong. Quinn strikes back, proving that trash can definitely fight back when pushed to the edge. His buddy is watching in pure disbelief, screaming, Quinn, as the fight reaches its peak. This system warns him he's losing blood, but he's too focused on the kill to care. Outside, the sun is finally setting, and that's when the real nightmare begins for his opponent. With the sun down, Quinn's power spikes, and he's ready to end this once and for all. His friend watches in horror as Quinn unleashes a terrifying, raw aura of pure dominance. The sky turns a deep, ominous purple, marking the shift in Quinn's true, hidden nature. His eyes glow red, and the system confirms his stats are recovering at a breakneck pace. This bully is trembling, stammering, how? With his speed, how could he possibly dodge my attack? Quinn just grins, showing his fangs and whispering, now it's my turn. This bully is terrified now, begging, W8, I think we can talk this through. Too late, Quinn slams him into the ground with a force that shatters the floor. This guy coughs up blood, realizing he messed with the wrong level 1 student. Quinn finishes the combo with a brutal strike, leaving the bully completely incapacitated. His friend is left speechless, wondering, how did he do that? Quinn stands over his defeated foe, looking like an absolute monster in the twilight. He finally embraces the truth, declaring, this is the power of a vampire. This system rewards him, his experience bar skyrocketing as he levels up his hidden potential. A notification pops up, skill unlocked, survey level 1, and he's just getting started. Combat mode deactivates, but the adrenaline is still pumping through his veins. His friend rushes over, checking if the bully is alive, but Quinn is ice cold. Quinn is already testing his new survey skill, wondering if he can see through weaknesses. He scans his friend, seeing all his stats and blood type. This skill is actually broken. He turns his gaze to the bully, seeing his transformation ability and low health. A dark thought crosses his mind. I wonder if different blood types taste different. He catches himself, horrified, thinking, this is crazy, that's blood. His friend urges him to leave before they get caught, and Quinn agrees immediately. They sprint away from the scene, leaving the defeated bully bleeding on the floor. This pool of blood left behind is a grim reminder of how dangerous Quinn has become. Quinn is still feeling the hunger, his body craving more than just food now. They walk through the academy, his friend worried about the wound on his arm. Quinn looks down and realizes his clothes are torn, but the wound is already gone. He makes up a quick excuse to head to the infirmary, desperate to hide his recovery. His friend insists on coming, but Quinn shuts him down, playing the worried friend card. He watches the city lights, knowing he's finally found his place in this twisted world. Back in private, he checks his arm. The skin is perfectly healed, no scar left. This system warns him that his hunger is intensifying and he needs to find a fix. He wanders the halls, searching for a vending machine to satisfy his strange cravings. He finds a 24-hour food station at the training ground, perfect for a late-night snack. Inside the training room, he sees targets riddled with arrows. Someone's been practicing hard. A girl is there, catching her breath, looking like she's been training for hours. She spots Quinn and freezes, wondering who this guy is at such a late hour. She recognizes him as the powerless kid and is totally confused why he's here. Quinn does not care, he just drops his jacket and prepares to test his true strength. This girl watches from the shadows, whispering, come on, let big sister see what you can do. Quinn explodes into motion, his fist connecting with raw power as his strength hits double digits. She is absolutely losing it, thinking, how is this possible? Is not he supposed to be level 1? Every step he takes cracks the ground, proving his agility is just as terrifying as his strength. Those training bots do not even stand a chance against his newfound, overwhelming speed and lethal precision. He clears the entire room in a blur, the system confirming his stats have hit 10. His jacket hits the floor, but he's already finished the job before the fabric even settles. She clutches his clothes in shock, wondering, is he deliberately hiding his true strength? Why, Quinn?